am joined this episode by my friends Cat and Brian Carroll, and we are going to discuss Mike Lombardo's I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday on The Literate Nerds. Hello and welcome to The Literate Nerds. As my introduction earlier, I'm here with my guests, Cat and Brian, and we were just actually having a conversation before we started recording, and I said, you know, I should save this for the podcast because you guys are kind of an example. I had said that you're exactly my target audience, and I said, and you guys are an example of a couple who have managed to live your life on your own terms in a way that you love. You literally, you know, you let your geek flags fly. And you do it so exuberantly. Honestly, you are role models, I think, to people on how they should be a couple, enjoy the stuff that they enjoy, and, you know, from everything I've seen, be pretty fucking great parents, too.
Well, the kids are pretty awesome. So, like, they're the gift to us. So, I mean, that being what that is. We also, both of us tried to suppress shit within ourselves, and it just boiled over into this volcano of Pompeii proportion. There was no point to it anymore. So we were like, you know what? Let's just embrace it and wear the ash.
I mean, did we really try to suppress it? That's kind of a stretch.
I tried, okay?
Sure you did. But yeah, no, we definitely do let our geek flag fly because, you know, as Eddie Izzard said, do you have a flag? So
yeah. And I don't know if you know, this is actually another thing that because the first segment we always do is Near Mint to Poor Condition, where we discuss something that's very positive in the world of nerddom, and then, you know, Poor Condition is something negative in the world of nerddom. But I just wanted to mention that Eddie is now using she, her.
Yes, she is.
Yes, I totally forgot.
Yes,
and that's fantastic because she has always been on the forefront of trying to educate people about, you know, the gender spectrum.
Yes.
And that's really fantastic. And that's another thing that we try. And that's another reason why I said you guys are my target audience, because, you know, you're progressive, you're pro LGBTQ, you know, you're white allies to Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And you know, and that's really what this show is also about. You know, I mean, listen, I always joke around that I am a, you know, cisgendered, straight presenting, you know, white man, and that I'm, you know, straight and that I present that way, but my browser history is definitely questioning. You know, like I was, you know, having a conversation with a friend of mine. I was long ago saying that, you know, it doesn't matter whether or not you actually enact on any of your queer thoughts or impulses in this world. Somebody wants to deny you your rights because you have those queer thoughts and impulses.
Well, okay, can I say this is something that I will go back to, and maybe you'll have to edit out after I say.
No. Listen, we go crazy. You can drop F-bombs, so on and so forth. So
we're
please.
already crazy.
So
yeah.
There was a comedian, I forgot who it was. I saw a clip of it, and it was like, homophobes, you're hilarious because I think the secret is that you think dick is delicious. And because it is so, like, you have someone like Mike Pence and anything else, and there's nothing wrong with being in the closet. You come out when you can. If you don't feel safe, you come out. That is absolutely everyone's specific journey.
Do you remember when we were doing Raft of the Medusa at NASA Community, and we went to one of the gay rights organizations that was on campus, and somebody described it as not so much coming out of the closet, it's like a chest of drawers.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. That like I remember hearing that in the early 90s and being like, wow, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I'm a lot more comfortable with being open and talking about my queer experiences, than I was even then, there was and I was guilty of it too. I said a lot of awful homophobic fucking shit back in the day.
Everyone remembers what the curses were like in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
People like it was nothing. Words that I will never use ever again that go up with the N word. There's other words that I just use the first initial, and I have told family members, you use those words around my children, you will not see my children.
Yeah, it's kind of like John Mulaney said, if the word is so bad that you can't actually say it, that's the worst word.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it really is a sign of the changing times because, it's like it was, it's like everything went in a wave where, earlier on in the mid 1900s, it seemed like in public, people were much more reserved, and they would focus on politeness, and being impolite was considered a big faux pas. And then in like between the 70s and the 90s, everything exploded and everybody said whatever the hell they wanted, and then they realized that it pisses everybody else off. And so then things now are kind of going the other way again. And it's better for it because, look, it all comes down to, why would you want to knowingly insult somebody that you may not even know? Like, why would you want to be that kind of person?
Please, Kat, go ahead.
I think people step on someone else because I'm putting you down to make myself stand higher. They feel that I'm belittling that because I think it's wrong, or maybe I feel like it's a little sexy and I hate that about myself. So I'm going to put you down. And that makes me feel better because I'm squashing that feeling.
Yeah, that. And I also think, the mechanism of language is that when you say to somebody, please don't say that because you're going to hurt someone's feelings. And then their response is, you mean I have to learn a new word?
Yeah.
You got to learn a new word, dude. It's not tough. Just
you don't
make an effort.
Have to learn to use a new word. Just use a different word that you already know.
Yeah, use a different word you already know, or use a term that's been around forever. Because I used the term cisgendered one time, and they're like, "Oh, this new term." I'm like, "Yes, that new term that is derived from Latin."
It's a new thing. You should read up on it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is. People don't get people seem to find the idea abhorrent that they need to continually learn throughout their lives. They think that, I learned enough in high school and maybe a little bit of college, so I don't ever have to learn anything ever again. I can keep being the same exact way, doing the same things and saying the same things forever. And that should be totally fine.
Yeah.
Well, I find it amusing because, my mom, who I love dearly, and you guys hear me rant about her on Facebook all the time. She's 88, God bless her. And she's like, I'm old, I'm not changing. I'm like, Mom, you have no choice because you are changing. Whether you might, not want to change your point of view, but your body is physically changing like all of us are. And not only that, it's like, Mom, you're not changing. You have an iPhone. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Guess what they didn't have 30 years ago?
That's different.
And she only retired 11 years ago, and she worked on a computer. So it's like, the good old, like people talk about Westworld and it's like, oh, wow, I would love to have lived in the old West. And it's like,
no, you wouldn't have.
It's like, really? Do you know what they used to wipe their butts in the outhouses in the old West? Because they didn't have toilet paper.
I don't like thinking of, as a woman, I don't want to live on any, Unless we're going back.
No, well, I'm just specifically talking about the toiletries that you would have access to, because I don't like the idea of wiping my ass with a fucking corn cob, and that's what they used in the Old West.
Hey, I don't judge your kink, man. If that's what you're into,
Hey, there's no shaming on this show, and no, but seriously,
it's
that's
only a kink if you eat it afterwards.
Yes, exactly, or give it a name. But that was the thing, is that's the one thing they had a fucking abundance of in the Old West were corn cobs, and they kind of are the right shape, so that's what they used them for.
And there was corn usually coming out anyway, so
so so this show is denigrated into toilet humor already.
This is the awesome shit.
I don't know what the unfortunately on these Zoom meetings it doesn't give you a rolling time mark, so there's got to be a setting for that. I got to figure that out. So yeah, give a little advertising to Zoom, like they need it. But yes, this is I do these podcasts and these less than 40-minute segments, because otherwise they ask me to pay them, and I'm simply not doing that.
They have actually taken off the limit again. I don't know.
Did they take off the limit? I guess for the holidays. Fantastic.
They did.
I still like to try and break it up anyway, because it's easier to edit. Have 3 different separate files. It's nice. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Let's talk about the subject that we're really supposed to be talking about in our near mint segment. Arguably the greatest positive thing that has happened to nerd fandom, and definitely the best thing, in my opinion, that has happened to Star Wars since Empire Strikes Back, The Mandalorian.
Yeah, no doubt.
Absolutely.
I just can't. For me, the impact that it's had, obviously, that Grogu. You want to call him Baby Yoda? I mean, I still call him Baby Yoda. It's fine. It's. I don't want people to get upset. It's not a Frankenstein's monster thing. All right.
And Mama called him Clay. I'ma call him Clay.
Yeah, exactly. That was the somebody had said that. Yeah, done a meme with that. His name is Grogu, you ignorant bastard.
Exactly.
All right. He alone has been fantastic, but the show itself, it's like my friend David Avallone, who you can find on all sorts of media platforms. He's currently writing the Elvira comic book, which is hilariously funny. They're doing a Shape of Water spoof with Elvira, and she's hooking up with the aquatic man.
Of course she would.
It's really good, and I
think I almost backed that on Kickstarter. They had something like that on Kickstarter for her.
Yeah, that was probably David's book. I think it's published by Dynamite. But he was saying that the reason why Favreau has got it right and is doing well is that when you want to do Star Wars right, don't imitate George Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
Emulate Akira Kurosawa.
Oh, that episode. Oh, God. 3 episodes ago? What was that one?
That was the Ahsoka episode. Yeah, that was. Yeah. It's funny because when Kat and I were sitting there watching it, and like maybe, I don't know, halfway through the episode, I'm like, this is Yojimbo. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is a Kurosawa. This is almost like some of this is shot for shot of a Kurosawa movie called Yojimbo.
When she approaches, it is shot for shot when Yojimbo walks into town after telling the coffin maker get 3 coffins ready. It's that moment.
It was.
Yep.
It is.
But not just that, it was the whole feel, like the feel of the episode, the cinematography, how they did this, even some of the special effects gave it that kind of, that Ronin kind of feel, and she did an amazing job as Ahsoka in my opinion. I mean, I know that's a contentious thing on the internet that,
but that's one of the things, that's like an example, I think, of both siderism that exists in fandom, is that there are opinions that are valid and there are opinions that are not. Anybody that didn't like Rosario Dawson in that role doesn't like Rosario Dawson for very specific reasons, because she's an outspoken feminist. She is currently dating the senator from New Jersey, the Honorable Cory Booker. Any number of various